We're battered! We are impacted! We're battered! We're ready to get up! We want to win! Light the fire of power and make us free! We never break down! We want to win! We are impacted! The best team!
Hello and welcome back to episode 43 of Impacted, coming to you live via the Total Nonstop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. I am your host Bison, and today I'm joined by Mr. Daily Giggle himself, the Joker. Hello, fella. How you doing?
Got old school vibes today.
Oh, very, very old school vibes. Just the two of us, brother. So you may have noticed, guys, it's simply Steve. He's not down this week as he's got some family thing going on, so unfortunately can't make us today. So last week it wasn't Bison, and this week it isn't simply Steve, but it's the summer vibe. You know, we've all got lives, we've got things that we need to do. We've actually lucky that you've got me again this week, because I've actually got some friends over staying at Bison Towers for a couple of days. So I've got to make sure that I get in here, get the job done, make everyone happy, and get out. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be here with Joe as well, which is going to be good to get that kind of old school vibe going. What do you think, brother?
Oh God, I could just perish the thought of me having to handle this on my own. I think we wouldn't get past the intro without me laughing my head off too much, just from nerves.
Oh, bless you. I think you do fine, brother. I think you do fine. Now, just a couple of things. It looks like we've already got some people joining us today. So hello to Lakers. I think Lakers has been looking forward to it. We've got Stream Elements. We've got Keanu Nolan. I've not seen you guys before. Who else have we got in the chat? Oh, great to see Mark. I have been speaking to Mark actually recently. I'm trying to we might get him on the show at some point. It'd be great to have Mark on.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Nice to meet him.
It'd be really good to have Mark on. Me and Mark have it's interesting actually, because we've got quite similar views, but at the same time we've got some views that aren't the same as well. So it's sort of kind of, I think it would make quite an interesting podcast. So it's great to see you guys in there. Oh, Joe's in there, Cody Sharp. Anyway, so absolutely fantastic to see you guys joining us already. What's this fun fact? Mark loves the UK. Bring him on. We certainly would. We will do it at some point, definitely. And like I said, I was talking to him earlier in the week, so it would be good to bring Mark on. I know that, like you say, he loves the UK, he loves Impact, so it's going to be great. So look forward to that when that one happens. Now, can I just say, guys, at this point, if you can give us a thumbs up. Let's just get that all out of the way now, because obviously the more thumbs up we get, the better. If you're new to the show, please hit subscribe button. Give that bell a little tickle. Come on, Joe, get in on that. Oh, you're going for a squeeze, Joe, are you? You're going for a little squeeze on that one. A tickle or a squeeze, I don't know. Anyway, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure you're never missing any of the great content coming from the UK and, of course, the US teams that we put out on a weekly basis. So that basically, I mean, there's nothing else to say really. So I think we should just get straight into it, really, Joe. We've got some interesting stuff to talk about this week. So there's plenty of news, plenty of rumors, of different bits and bobs. I'm just going to blast through this stuff, and we'll get some discussion going. I'm very interested to know what you guys in the chat think of some of this stuff as well. Like I said, there's quite a few bits and bobs in there, but I want to kick the first thing off is we now know who's going to face Deonna Purrazzo for the Impact title at NWA Empowerrr pay-per-view. Now, the reason I want to bring this one up first is because obviously I use this as our title picture this week. So let's bring that one up straight away. So Melina, how cool is that? If you're a long-time wrestling fan, you'll know how cool it is that Melina is facing Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts title and WA Empowerrr pay-per-view. What are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
The whole introduction that really went over my head. It's great to see Melina turn up in Impact Wrestling finally, and it's great to see her after I've not seen her since she was in WWE. And that was God knows how long ago. So it's been a very long time since I've seen her, and she's looking fantastic. But the whole segment in the introduction of Melina facing Deanna Prazer, it really went over my head a bit too much. And so it on paper it's great, and I'm sure if I check the pay-per-view out, if I check the pay-per-view out, sorry, let me try and slow down. It'll be a really good match, but it just doesn't click for me. It just literally she's like, oh, it's just another big name who Deanna Prazer is going to obviously play through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you say that, but you never know. I mean, maybe it could be the introduction of Melina coming to Impact Wrestling. Who knows? But what I do know is I think it's going to be a great match. We all know that Melina is a top talent. So, the fact that we're getting to see her versus Deanna, I think is pretty cool, regardless of anything else that happens. Hello, Courtney, by the way. Nice to see you in the chat. Lovely. So it's, I think this is going to be a cracking match. I've already purchased Empowerrr pay-per-view, so I'm looking forward to that. Make sure that you guys get yourselves stuck into that as well, because I really think this is going to be must-see pay-per-view, and it's historical as well. So, at the end of the day, it's going to be great. We've got Mark. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, a match with Melina doesn't excite me at all, but Deanna whipping ass in other promotions does. Long may she reign. So, totally, man. I totally get that. Definitely. I think that's going to be fantastic. Thank you, Mark, for that. It's going to be, whatever happens, it's going to be a good match, I think. I think it is going to be.
I'm not playing down the match. The match is going to be fantastic. I've no doubt about that. Otherwise, it wouldn't have brought Melina in to put Deanna Prazer over. It's just
exactly.
It's just after seeing such an amazing performance from Deanna Prazer at Homecoming. We went back to the promos and stuff she does, and then that just feels like, oh god, here we go again. So it's a sort of move as soon as and then when that all started, but it was still coming off of Homecoming. A lot of things I've about to negative to say about Deanna Prazer, I've been turned around, and it only took 3 matches for that to happen, which was just
exactly.
Really good.
But of course, before that, we also have the Deanna Prazer versus Fabi Apache in AAA. Now, again, this is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to this one. I honestly believe that she's going to win. So I think what we're going to start seeing is Deanna become almost the belt collector for the women's, for women's titles. I honestly believe that's sort of kind of what we're seeing. We're almost like Deanna's going to become almost the Kenny Omega, but for Impact Wrestling. So it's going to be sort of really interesting how that goes. I think she is. I think, Mark, you're right, and I know you're a massive fan. You love Deanna. You're a massive fan of the incredible Taya Valkyrie as well. So I think you're right. I think Deanna definitely has a shout to be called the best women's wrestler in the world at the moment, and she is fantastic. Without she is fantastic, definitely. Now, moving on from that, obviously, it looked like last week we saw the very last performance from Kiera Hogan, and we saw the debut of the incoming Savannah Evans. Now, a lot of people I've seen, not particularly impressed with Savannah, weren't particularly impressed with the Samoa drop and all that kind of stuff that she used to, take Kiera out. All I want to say before we get into any of that stuff is thank you, Kiera. You were an absolute fantastic addition on the Impact roster. You're certainly, it's going to be a long time before we forget you. So thank you so much for your fantastic effort and the hard work that you've put in over the past 5 years with Impact Wrestling. We've enjoyed every minute. I know Joe feels exactly the same way. Have you got anything to say with regards to Kiera, Joe?
Yeah, I've got I've got goosebumps just thinking that she's actually gone. She was the fourth person we covered when we started way back in the day, and when we did all the old school stuff. When she was the fourth person we covered, and we had a hell of a lot to say about her then. And it's one of the few times I can say I told you so. She didn't need a huge amount of belts to make herself a superstar, and the only negative thing I've got to say about the whole thing is that the way it ended. But even then, it's not in sour taste. It's not because Impact Wrestling didn't bother us. I've shot down some idiot earlier this week or at tail end of last week about it. Or I'm pretty sure you might have seen the comment because I know you commented on the same post. You know, the people are saying that Impact Wrestling didn't bother to keep her on. Shame on Impact Wrestling and all that. Well, all I can say to people thinking that is shut the fuck up. You know, she's done 5 years at Impact Wrestling. They've made her into a megastar after she started out as someone who herself has admitted she had no idea where the hell she was going, and so coming to Impact Wrestling was the right thing for her. And now look at her; she's got confidence brimming out all sides, and it's most likely she's probably going to go to AEW more than anything else. But that being said, I've got full respect for what she's done now, and I've got no gripes with where she goes next. All I can say is thank you very much, Kira. You were one of the best.
I think you're right. I think she's going to end up with All Elite. I think she's going to end up AEW. You know, when you think about, I mean, her girlfriend's there, so it makes perfect sense. She's got a lot of friends there as well. She's already been seen backstage at AEW. So, but again, I mean, that could have been just visiting Diamante or whatever. Who knows? But bottom line is, you know, at the end of the day, she's done a fantastic job for us. She's moving on. She's checking out what else is out there for her. Fair play. You know, all I got to say is, you know, it's not goodbye. It's just, you know, until we see you again. So looking forward to.
As Jake Chris said, it's not goodbye. It's see you down the road.
Exactly. So now talking about Savannah Evans, I've not. This is the very first time I've ever seen her. I did a little bit of research. I looked her up online. She looks like a bit of a beast. So you know, whether maybe a bit green, but she certainly looks like she's got a lot of potential. That's for sure. So I'm looking forward to see where that goes. Is she a direct replacement? Is she just coming into tag team with Tasha Steelz? I'm not sure on that one. I just have this feeling that maybe Tasha's getting a faction together. We're getting to see some sort of female faction. If it turns out to be just another tag partner, I think I'll be a little bit disappointed because I kind of feel Tasha at this point doesn't actually need a tag partner. She's awesome on her own. So either way, you know, it's great to see a new knockout coming in. So I'm looking forward to that. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat there. So looking forward to seeing what she's got, you know, what she's got on offer. You know, like we always say, you know, when one goes, another one or two turn up. So you know, we're certainly not losing any talent on the roster in terms of numbers. She, like I said, good luck to Kira, and looking forward to seeing what Savannah's got for us in the future. We also, obviously, in the beginning of the week, saw that Chelsea Green was in a fight for a name with the WWE. However, it turned out that eventually she ended up getting a phone call saying that they weren't gonna pursue this any further, and so it looks like Chelsea is not got a problem there. Good. So you know, I mean, I don't know how you feel on that one, Joe, but you know, I you know, if she'd agreed to it initially, I just felt it was a bit weird that although when she signed to say she was happy for them to do that, when she thought she was going in, obviously, onto the SmackDown roster, it then turned out that didn't happen. She gets released, but then they apply. That, for me, seemed a bit odd. And to me, was sort of kind of a bit underhanded. But it turned out that, you know, maybe it was just an oversight. Maybe it was just got thrown in with a load of other stuff or whatever. I don't know. But at the end of the day, you know, it's all good. All's well in love and war and all the rest of it. And Chelsea Green has kept her name. So I don't think there's a lot more to say on that one, Joe, is there?
No, if you guys really want my opinion, then I suggest you check out the recent Wrestle Buddy podcast. I put it back, and you can get my opinion on that because it's quite long-winded. And you know, a lot of us had our opinion on the whole way the WWE's handled the releasing of all the NXT talent, all where they've been treating like talent like Mickie James and Chelsea Green and stuff. You know, it's just petty tit for tat, really. You know, we had to put the coin on put the shoe on the other foot. We had something similar when Jeff Hardy went to WWE and they tried to take Brother Nero.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things that just it's just it shouldn't be an option on a contract that you can sign your name over like that. Not your real name, a in-ring name like Ultimate Warrior, for example. Yes, I can understand that fully. But if it's your real name, then that just shouldn't be an option on the contract, and then there'll be none of this crap at all.
no, exactly. I kind of agree with that to a certain degree, definitely. Just want to quick say hello to Jeff Samuel. Lovely to see you there. And just a quick reply to Mir, because he was asking, what's the situation with watching Impact in the UK now. Fine. I don't think, for me, nothing's really changed. Got no problems with watching Impact at all. I can still watch it either on Impact Plus or I can now watch it a little earlier, which is what I've started to do on the Impact Insider. On the YouTube Insider thing. I've signed up for that. It's only like 99 cents a month. Perfect. I get to watch Impact Wrestling half an hour after it starts to air in the US with no ads. By the time we've got to the end, we've caught up. We're pretty much watching it simultaneously. So pretty happy with that from my point of view. It also means that potentially maybe I could join the review show for a little bit at some point, because I'll be up at that time in the morning. Maybe I could get half an hour on the review show. Who knows? I have been talking to J-Bone about that, so you never know. You may see me turn up on the live review show on a Thursday. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. So there's lots of interesting stuff going on there. Now we've also had Buddy Murphy released a few well-produced promos and teasing the date, the 31st of August, 2021. Again, I'm assuming that's the day that he all of a sudden becomes free to the world. You've had a lot of stuff. Oh my God, it must mean he's going to AEW because the video segments that they've been putting up are so well produced and all this kind of stuff. Hang on a minute. Did anybody see the EC3 stuff? That was extremely well put together, extremely well produced. Just because a talent could afford to hire himself a little production team to put some stuff together, it doesn't mean automatically they're off to AEW. These things can be done without being attached necessarily to a promotion at this moment in time. Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to AEW. He could be going to AEW. Would I like to see him on Impact Wrestling? Yes, I would like to see him on Impact Wrestling. But whatever happens, he's going to make the best decision for him as a performer. And if he feels that's AEW, then fair play. If that's Impact Wrestling, then I'm happy. Because I'll get to see him every single week, as that's my go-to show. So I think it's great. I'm interested to see where this goes. I thought the promos were pretty good. I love the whole being in prison for the past 8 years thing. I thought that was funny. But don't know. Have you seen these, Joe? What did you think?
I've not seen them yet. No, this is all news to me. I've not seen it, so it's something I've got to go and catch up on.
You want to get checking that out? Go and check that out, because they were pretty good. I mean, they weren't short. I mean, they were several minutes long. I thought they were really good, well produced. But the quips that were in there, which were pretty funny. And of course, if you look at his Twitter now, he's basically got like a B with a big space and then an M with a space. So he's obviously got a name change coming as well, which is good. And like Polar Family says, Manser makes some of his promos as well, and they're great. So it's not about just because you've got a well produced kind of vignette or whatever you want to call it, or promo video or something like that, it means it's been done by anybody other than the talent, or he's got himself a little team up together to put these things together. He might have done. Who knows? You just don't know. So looking forward to seeing what happens with Buddy Murphy. The other thing, obviously, one of the other news items that we've got going on at the moment as well, which has made big news. Some people are happy, some people aren't, is we got Impact move off Twitch to YouTube with a new 2-tier subscription service called Insiders, which is now available worldwide. Now, for me, as I said before, it's a good thing. It's available worldwide. I don't have access. I was never a fan of Twitch, and I don't have access to Access TV. So, my options were I either, watched it on a watch along with, Total Nonstop Impact, which I'm not bothered about. We could have done that. I quite like watching it with the team, but I'm not really into those watch along things because I get distracted and I can't focus on what I'm watching. I'm like getting involved in, so that's why
you want to sit and watch.
I want to watch it. I want to watch the show. So that's generally why you don't see me on any of the watch-alongs or anything like that, because I'm so focused. I want to watch the show and take it all in and enjoy it. And I struggle when I'm on a watch-along to do that. But like I said, it's, and Twitch is just not available for us unless we do a watch-along in the UK. So I've always, up until now, watched it on Impact Plus at like 3 o'clock in the morning for me over here, which is, an hour or so after it's aired in the US. So for me, now I've effectively got the opportunity with YouTube Insider, which is available worldwide, to watch it, like I said, almost simultaneously. Once you've, it's half an hour after, take out the adverts. Of course, we're not watching the adverts. It almost becomes simultaneous by the end. So, I'm happy that that's happened. I think it's great. What about yourself, Joe? What are your feelings on the move from Twitch to YouTube?
It was a pretty out of the blue, and it was really unexpected. But again, being in the UK, not being able to watch Impact live in the UK, apart from on the watch along or something, I enjoyed the watch alongs as well, and I enjoyed taking part in them. But if I wanted to sit down and just watch it live, you couldn't do it. Basically, you just could not do it in the UK. They tried it with Premier Sports, and that went nowhere. I think this whole deal with YouTube is the best outcome really for everyone, because it still brings the numbers in, it still brings all the ratings in that everyone's constantly raving about, which doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's just quality over quantity. I watch it on Impact Plus, and I'm happy with that. Would I go onto the YouTube subscription? Yes, I would. It's just at the moment I'm more tied up with other things, so I'm happy to just stick with Impact Plus for now and catch it up when I can. I'm not like I need to watch it now. I need to watch it straight away. Kind of, I know I've still got my dog to deal with at the moment, so my hands are tied for everywhere else.
I think you'll find Striker is already back, Chris. Just letting you know, he's obviously not watched for a few weeks. Hello, Hakeem. Nice to see you in the chat. So we've got, if I'm honest, Impact's announcements about the move to YouTube a day before the show was poorly planned. They should have said something days in advance. I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm really not. It makes, what you're saying does make sense. I think all I'm trying to say is that for me, it actually is probably better for us to have it that way round. But you're right. Maybe the way that they went about doing it, it wasn't the best. I'm not going to disagree with that. We should have maybe about at least 2 or 3 days later.
It's not good.
No, I'm not gonna disagree with that. In fact, I completely agree with that. So that was that's pretty much that then. Interestingly, moving forward, I think it's going to get better and it'll work out better for everyone in the long run. Like you say, it's just the way
a stable platform.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like you say, the way they went about it didn't sit well with people, which is fine. I get that. Moving on from that, we've got the Kimberlys Transformation, and I find it interesting that she's calling Sue Young mother, which was interesting. I love the transformation of Kimberly. I think it's exactly what she needed. And I'm very excited to see exactly where this goes. I'm all for the dark characters and the undead realm stuff. you know, I love all of that. It's different, and I really enjoy it. What are your thoughts on Kimberlys Transformation, Joe?
It's terrifying. I love it so much. It really does. It sends a huge chill down my spine every time, and it's been. They've only needed like those 2 1.5 minute segments with Kimberly and Su Yung, and it's already blown me away just with that. And like you said, it's a character change Kimberly needed, and it's a character change we didn't expect. You know, for all we know, we could have just seen Su Yung come back and Kimberly just randomly appeared 6 or 7 months later on, complete like just as if nothing had happened, or something like that. Or no. Instead, they've almost like did what they wanted to do with Ali to Kimberly, and it's going to be awesome. I'm waiting to see whether they go for Gianna Prazo straight away, whether they go for Rosary and Havoc, or whether they do something else completely and go completely off the wall. There's a lot of angles to this now, and you just don't know where it's going to go. It's really good.
I think so too. I think, you know, I as I said, I'm a big fan of this kind of stuff. I know some people aren't so keen on it, but this is a bit fantasy, and you know, it's very unrealistic and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, not everything has to be realistic, you know. Yeah, that's you know, is Game of Thrones realistic? No, it's not realistic. You know, it's just fun. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah. If it was realistic, Little Richie wouldn't be in hospital.
No, exactly. Now, interesting. I don't know where this is coming. What's Bison Bingo? I'm just going to ask. Polar Family, what's Bison Bingo? But anyway, let us know in the chat what Bison Bingo is. I'm interested to find out. So for me, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing some of that stuff. We've also had Josh Alexander versus Jake something for the X Division title. This is obviously announced for Emergence. This obviously, you know, came up on last week's show. You know, again, this is a match I'm extremely excited about. I know that it's almost like a rematch from a AAW show a week or so ago. And if I'm going to say this now, you know, if anything. If anything's to go by with regards to that match, you know, people that didn't see that match, you need to go and watch it. But we're going to be in for a treat. I think this is going to be an absolutely slobber knocker of a match. What about yourself, Joe?
Oh, firstly, Jake something needed that win on the night to get this match to begin with, and he's gone down the same route as Black Taurus has done. You know, he's had this huge momentum at the start of the year, and it's just slowly cascaded away and away, and it comes back a bit and it goes away and away. And we saw what Josh Alexander did to Black Taurus, and what Black Taurus is Josh Alexander at Homecoming. They had one of the best matches of the night, and along with Dina versus Willie Mack, probably one of the best matches of the year, as if you want to take any of two matches from that card. And we're going to see a huge match between Josh Alexander and Jake something. I'm looking forward to this so much. I'm brimming like a bloody Cheshire cat just thinking about it now, just imagining what the hell these guys are going to do to each other, because we know they're both wrestling beasts.
Mm-hmm. You see, what's interesting about this one, and I think I mentioned it in a private chat that we were having on Facebook yesterday, that, you know, obviously this Thursday, tomorrow night, we'll talk about it in a second, but we've got Josh is taking on Davari now, and he's basically said to him, look, you know, if you beat me, then I'm going to give you a title shot. This is a non-title match. If you beat me, I'm going to give you a title shot. You know, now, what's interesting about this one is that, you know, if it stays as it is, Josh Alexander versus Jake something, as is now, then like you say, what we're getting is a repeat of what we saw on AAW, which was, you know, the talk of the internet. If you haven't seen it, you need to get and watch it. But it was a hell of a match, just insane. But if Davari, even if it's through shenanigans of some sort, or it's just a distraction or a ref bump or whatever, but if Davari ends up getting a pin over Josh, you know, do we see Davari entered into this title match at Emergence to create a three-way? So it's not just Josh versus Jake, which it is at the moment. Could it be Josh versus Davari versus Jake something? What this also does allows for Jake to lose this match, but not necessarily be the one that gets pinned. So, for instance, Josh pins Davari to win the match, but Jake doesn't get pinned. So in reality, Jake doesn't really lose, which then means that later on down the line, we could get Josh versus Jake something for the X Division title, because Jake's going to say, well, you didn't pin me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying there is a possibility that that could happen, isn't it?
It's hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetically, it could happen. Can I just ask, by the way, Trent, can you please pop the link up to where we can find that Josh versus Jake something match at AAW? I think people would like that. Just get that link in there so they could go and watch that match. It's an incredible match, and I think that would be fantastic for everyone to watch that. Get a little bit of a preview of what they possibly could be expecting at Emergence as well, which would be interesting. And kudos to AAW for putting that match together, because it's a real badass match. So that's great. So I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that there is a possibility that could happen. And if it did happen, it then suddenly puts a very different take or a different light on that particular match to then prolong the feud for it to maybe move on a little bit longer. Maybe we could see Josh versus Jake something for the X Division title at Bang for Glory, for instance. I don't know. Just a thought. What are your thoughts on that?
I want Josh versus Omega at Bang for Glory. I think that's all I want to see. I think Davari is probably going to end up losing, and he's then going to go for because he's signed with WWE as well as Impact Wrestling at the moment. And Rohit Raju shot a load of people down complaining about this last week as well. That Davari he's working in a production role at WWE, and he's working something similar on Impact Wrestling. And he's working in the ring on Impact Wrestling. And Rohit Raju shot everybody down, complaining, "Oh, why is he doing this? Why is he doing?" He said, "Because he fucking can," basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure he is doing both. I'm not sure he is doing both. I think it's just people have assumed that he's doing both. But his I know he did go, but he was there for a little while. But I'm not sure if people aren't mixing up the fact that his brother was also there as well.
I think that might be what the people are mixing up. But the fact that he actually shot them down like that, I think it's just something worth mentioning. I think Davari is probably going to get the loss, and he's probably going to take a back seat for a while, and we will see the one-on-one between Jake Something and Josh Alexander. Would I like to see a triple threat match? Yes, I would. I think it would do a lot more for Jake Something in the short term. But I'm thinking long term, even if Jake Something loses this match, it doesn't set him back a huge amount, because we're not sure what's happening with Ace Austin at the moment in terms of X Division titles contention. He might be going back to the tag division now after losing the X Division shot again. We got Steve Macklin and Trey Miguel are fighting with each other, or seem to be going towards each other the way he took out P.T. Williams. So there's a lot of guys building up towards the X Division title as well, and mind you, Jake Something and Steve Macklin would be awesome too. Exactly.
That'd be Christ. Can you imagine those two going at it? That would be interesting. I think one thing's for sure. I think what a lot of people forget now as well is that there's some big, tough dudes that are arriving on the Impact roster now. I mean, Davari is actually one of those as well. I mean, let's face the facts. Davari is a beast. I mean, look at the dude. I mean, he's jacked. So we've got some big dudes on the roster now, some proper badasses. So, and they're all being elevated, to greater heights. I'm pleased. I think it's fantastic to see Jake Something now, mixing it up for an X Division title shot and all that kind of stuff. I think it's great. And I'm, really looking forward to it. If it's a one-on-one, it's a one-on-one. If it's a three-way, it's a three-way. Either way, I'm excited for this match at Emergence. And it is shaping up to be a hell of a well, it's not a paper, it's an Impact Plus special, isn't it? So, I mean, adding on to that, talking about Emergence, this past week on Impact, or last week on Impact, obviously VBD are not happy with the loss to the Good Brothers. we then obviously set up a 3-way tag match for Emergence, which includes obviously Violent by Design, the Good Brothers, and now Willie Mack and Rich Swann have been added to that title picture as well. Now, here's another interesting take on this one. Now, Wednesday night, tonight for you guys, we on Dynamite, we've got the Good Brothers versus the Dark Order. Now, just imagine if, being again, the Impact tag team titles are being defended. They are being promoted and defended on AEW. Let that sink in tonight. That is a good thing. I know a lot of people think it's not, but it's a good thing. Now, you got two things going on here. Now, if Good Brothers win, that's a good thing because, they look strong. They're holding the titles. They've beaten an AAW signed talent. If the Dark Order win, then we get potentially are we going to get the Dark Order replace the Good Brothers at Emergence, which could be interesting, and also could be a way, for instance, for Willie Mack and Rich Swann to bring him back. So by pinning those guys, for instance, I don't know. There's lots of scenarios in there, but like I said, I think. The Good Brothers, again, they definitely bring value. I think it's definitely a good thing that they are, defending those titles on AEW tonight. It puts eyes on those titles, regardless of what you think, and creates a lot more interest. So who knows? That just that alone could potentially create a lot more interest, bring more eyes to Impact Wrestling. You just don't know. But what are your thoughts on this, Joe? What are your thoughts on where the tag team titles are going? Like I say, this match at Emergence.
I was slightly disappointed actually that the Violent by Design have decided to invoke the rematch clause so soon. I was really hoping that they'd leave it a bit longer before this whole thing came to fruition. But Rich Swann and Willie Mack versus the Good Brothers on its own would have been awesome. But then, of course, it would have also been a bit too obvious that the Good Brothers would just go over Willie Mack and Rich Swann. So I suppose you need that extra fifth wheel in, and that's what Violent by Design are now, because they've invoked this rematch clause, and you don't know who they're going to bring into the match. Although it's probably going to be Dina and Joe Doring.
Yeah.
So as for the AEW thing, we were talking about this as well. But what if the Good Brothers did lose the titles on AEW? The Dark Order, when one of the longer, they've been with AEW from the start, and if they were to do this would be huge for them as well, because they've been on a very stagnant run as far as a tag team really for a while. But the two main guys in it who are facing the Good Brothers on this match.
Yeah.
So it would be great to see those guys get over, and it would be interesting to see who then does take the titles off of them if it does happen. It could even be a 4-way up now at Emergence with the Dark Order, the Good Brothers, Rich Swann and Willie Mack, and Violent by Design, and that would be awesome because the two guys that are facing them are really talented wrestlers. They are a lot. They don't get enough credit than they deserve.
You could be right on that one as well. Can I just say to Keith Gulman out there, I think I look more like Sex Ferguson than did Doc Gallows. So definitely got the Sex Ferguson vibe going on. Or maybe just Bison dangly Bison, whichever way you want to look at it. I don't know. But no, I agree with you, Joe. I think whatever happens, just the fact that the Impact tag titles are being defended on AEW tonight is a bigger move forward in terms of that promotion of Impact Wrestling on Dynamite. Like you say, up until now, most of it has been very much sort of kind of Impact doing all the promoting, all the pushing kind of thing, and it'd be nice to see some of that come back now. The other way. I think you're right. I think it would be a good thing. I think it's a good thing, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. Definitely. Now, the other thing which happened last week on Impact Wrestling, Team Kaz, Callihan, and Edwards, and this is where I'm saying things are starting to maybe make a turn here. for the better for Impact Wrestling. So we've got Team Kaz, Callihan and Edwards, with Kaz making his return to Impact TV, which was fantastic. Beat the Elite in an Impact main event last week. So this is, like I said, this is where I think the tide is turning for Impact. We're now starting to see Impact talents beating AEW talents. All right, so up until now, it's all been very much kind of Kenny winning, the Elite guys basically winning, over Impact talent. Now we're starting to see that tide turn a little bit. I'm hoping this trend is going to continue into the next set of tapings and Emergence, carrying on from then. If it does, I think we're going to start seeing a lot happier Impact fans with this whole working relationship, because it's starting to be a little bit more I don't know, what, like mutual, I guess is probably the word that we're looking for. I agree with that. The Elite Hunters. I didn't want to say that. I want it to be more Impact based, because if we call it the Elite Hunters, then that's more Kaz. Kaz is the Elite Hunter. Callihan and Edwards are Impact stars. That they're not necessarily in that bubble, but who knows? Maybe moving forward, maybe that's why Kaz is there. Maybe Kaz is recruiting people for to join the Elite Hunters, and maybe Callihan and Edwards are the first Impact roster members to join this faction. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Do you think that may be the case?
Something just crossed my mind thinking about that now. I don't see. One thing I do see if things keep going right this way, I could see Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan going for the tag titles against the Good Brothers. But now that we're talking about the Elite Hunters, the other thing that's crossing my mind is, could this be a way to bring Davey Richards back into Impact Wrestling?
Well, I mean, we know that Davey Richards is teaming with Eddie at an indie show.
He's teaming with him at Wrestling Revolver on October the 30th.
There we go. So we know that connection is being made again. I was surprised we didn't see that reunion happen on Impact, but maybe they just wanted to test the water before they did it. I don't know.
No, that would be awesome. But even Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards, if they was to have, even if it's just a one-off match like Shamrock and Callihan was last year against the North at Slammiversary, Callihan and Edwards versus the Good Brothers at Bound for Glory, that would be a huge match. And it would really, really add that extra wow factor to the fact that the Good Brothers are tag team champions again, because it was a bit of an underwhelming turnaround result for Slammiversary to see the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega dominate everybody. And it would be just great for then, especially if we get someone like Josh Alexander or whoever wins the Battle Royal coming up against Kenny Omega.
No, exactly. Yeah, you just don't know, do you? And Randy, I'd just like to say, brother, that that's what we're here for. At the end of the day, that's what we're here for, to create interest, to get you guys thinking about, what could happen. It's just our opinions at the end of the day. We're just two guys discussing wrestling. And we'd love to see what you guys think. And yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to trying to get your juices flowing and where you think things might go. And, I don't know, we could be right, but we could be way off base. I can assure you we've been way off base on more occasions than we've been right, that's for sure. But we're definitely here to provoke thought. That's exactly what we're about. I don't care. People can have the same opinions as me. People don't have the same opinions as me. At the end of the day, we all have our opinions, and I love everybody, so it's all good. But yeah, so
Bison
who knows?
Hug everybody.
Bison hug with a lick. Who knows? So it's all good. Now, the other thing as well is that we've had new content added to the Impact Plus and YouTube Insider with the old Callihan Uncensored. Now, I don't know how many people have actually watched this, but I thought this was a really, really good show, and I really enjoyed it. I love the way they promoted it. The advert for it was fantastic. I thought this was a real fun show. His first guest was Rosemary. I think they worked really well together. The way they sort of kind of played off each other, I thought was really good. Obviously, some of this stuff was sort of kind of like, not dubbed, but kind of produced to a degree. Look, you could tell that they weren't. It wasn't necessarily filmed kind of all in one go. Stuff was broken and moved around and stuff. But either way, I thought it was really good, and I'm looking forward to episode 2. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, guys. What did you think of Callihan Uncensored? He said fuck a lot, right? He like a lot in this episode, and Rosemary didn't hold her words either. So I thought it was really good, and I really like the way that they ended it with the wrestling revolver match at the end as well, which I thought was really good. Was it Ray Phoenix versus ACH, was it, or AHC, or whatever his name is?
ACH.
ACH, that's right. It was a good match. It was a nice, great match to end it with. It was only about sort of 5, not even probably 10 minutes long, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really good. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to episode 2. Well, did you get to see this, Joe? Because
no,
I wasn't sure whether you'd have the time to see this one. And
no, I've not had it. I've not subscribed to the YouTube thing yet, so I've not had the chance to watch it.
Yeah,
but I did see the trailer, and the trailer had me rolling on the floor laughing. They got every pretty much the entire locker room pitching, and they even got James Storm to pitch in for the trailer, and it was just hilarious. And all their reaction to Sami Callihan's getting his own show, which is fucking and
yeah.
Scott D'Amore at the end. It looks hilarious, and it looks really, really intriguing, especially seeing as you managed to get Rosemary of all people.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, you'd love this bit, and interestingly enough, it's just been brought up in the chat by Keanu Nolan there. There was one section where Sammy asked Rosemary who would she really love to face on the Impact roster, et cetera, et cetera. She came back with Sami Callihan. Now, I love the bit where he's going like, no, absolutely, you don't want that. You don't want that. And I thought it was, I thought it was great. And who knows? Are we going to see Rosemary versus Sami Callihan at some time in the future? I mean, that would be a really cool Impact Plus special match. I think.
I think it would be fantastic.
I think it would be fun, and we all know that Sami works really, really well with the female talents. So so it's coming along really, really well. Excited for that one. So moving on, we also have announced this week the Impact are doing meet and greets at the next set of tapings, which is interesting. As some of them come up, I think it was Matt Cardona, Chelsea Green were going to be doing it. I saw Rosemary and Havoc were going to be doing it. I think Sami Callihan's going to be doing it. So there was quite a few different kind of meet and greet options that were available, which I think is fantastic to see. It's it's obviously they haven't really done that kind of stuff in the past. Obviously they're starting to do more and more. We've got to be careful with the fact that we obviously was just coming out of the pandemic. So you've got to be a little bit careful on that one. So I'm hoping it's still going to be mask, socially distance, that kind of stuff. But I think this is a good move from Impact. Getting their stars out there, doing the meet and greets. I think it's good. What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
I envy anyone that gets the chance to go to one, because we're stuck here in the UK. We're not going to get that opportunity. So anyone that goes, well, good luck to you. And I'm not that jealous. I'm just going to sit here and scratch the walls and punch the walls in silence.
Yeah, definitely. I like
from a professional perspective. It's great to see Impact Wrestling welcoming the fans back. We got that welcome back feeling at homecoming, and now they're continuing to welcome the fans back, and it's great to see that they're actually this is the way forward now. They're not shutting everybody out. That's probably a really, really poor choice of words. So, but as you can tell, my mind's going a bit.
Are you going back into the void, Joe?
Oh, it's been over a
Or
year,
the,
so
into the
yeah,
empty space. That's where you're going. No, I get it.
yeah.
Okay, no worries. So I just want to basically sort of kind of like, let everybody know. Don't forget, obviously, the Emergence Impact Plus special is going to be on Friday, August the 20th. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a really good show. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad they moved it on to the Friday because I think originally it was going to be on Saturday the 21st. So I'm glad they moved it on the Friday for obvious reasons. Hopefully we get a good viewership on that one. Like I say, it's going to be a good show. Let's move swiftly into what we're going to get from Impact Wrestling tomorrow. I think interestingly enough, it was announced that the BTI match is going to be Sam Adonis versus Joe-ker. Now I know Sam Adonis. I don't know the other guy. I have to say that on their promotional poster, they look pretty badass. So I'm looking forward to checking these guys out. I think this is what the BTI match should be more than anything else. I like the idea of, almost bringing in some slightly, greener or unknown, some slightly unknown talents to work on the BTI match. I think that's a really good idea. And I'm actually really looking forward to this one. Any thoughts on this one, brother?
I'm looking forward to seeing new faces, and I know the feedback from it already has been really positive. It's good to see new faces. They've done a great job in using it to also to develop rivalries and carry rivalries forward, and like throwback matches for fallouts like we had with Crazy Steve last week, versus Falabar. But to see some fresh faces this week, it's a welcome change. And hopefully it'll be like a mix and match of this sort of formula as we could carry forward. Hope we don't see something like Explosion was, where it's like a main guy on the roster versus someone we don't know, and things like that. If we can mix it up like this a bit more,
Yep.
it'll be good. But I've been impressed with BTI since it started. It's been what was needed and what Explosion was lacking, sadly. But there's still maybe hopes that Explosion comes back as a secondary show. That's still something that we may be happening, but that's a long term.
Yeah. I mean, Sam Adonis, I think, is Corey Graves. I think that's who that is, but I'm excited to see where this goes. I think maybe Sam Adonis is the one that's coming possibly onto the roster. It would be interesting. He's a very good luchador or a very good wrestler, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. We then move into the Impact Wrestling matches. This is interesting. We've got Tenille Dashwood versus Taylor Wilde. Hopefully Taylor Wilde's going to kick the crap out of her, and we move on. Interesting enough, Taylor's actually been releasing some darker pictures of her, wearing black and all sorts of stuff like that. I'm hoping that we may start to see a real darker side to Taylor. I don't think I've ever seen a full-on heel darker Taylor. So again, that would be interesting to see. I'm definitely up for seeing that. Big fan of Taylor, as we all know. So I want her to kick the crap out of Tenille, but I know a lot of people probably don't want that. But I'm sorry, I do.
I'm not a huge fan of Tina Dashwood, but I'm a bit more supportive of her than when she came in. But I still want to see Taylor Wilde kick the crap out of her.
Definitely, I want to see this big time, big time. Taylor kick the shit out of her. Interestingly enough, I put something up yesterday, and Taylor liked it because I actually put there, "Please, Taylor, kick the shit out of her," and Taylor liked it. So I was like, "Yes." So that would be good. We then got Josh Alexander versus Davari. Now, we already touched on that one earlier. Possible, implications on this one or where this one could possibly go. Who knows? But what I do know is I think this is going to be a really good match. Do you agree, Joe?
Oh, this is going to be an awesome match. There's no doubt. Any match with Josh Alexander, and it's going to be awesome. There's nothing lower than awesome with Josh Alexander.
And again, as soon as you give him someone like a Davari, who we know is an incredible wrestler, regardless, he's a former X Division champion, for crying out loud. You know that you're going to get a good match, and and generally you stick Josh in with anyone, you're going to get a good match. But you stick him in with someone like that, with the experience of Davari, the skill of Davari, you're going to get a great match. Which is again why we want to see him versus Petey Williams, isn't it? Because we think that would be an awesome an awesome match as well. But who knows where that goes? We'll have to wait and see. At the end of the day, tomorrow, I'm sure we're going to be seeing some developments in terms of what we're going to see at Emergence. So we'll definitely get a couple more matches, I think, banged out from tomorrow. Then we've got Finjuice versus Bey and White. Obviously, they're representing the Bullet Club. Again, I think this is going to be a good match. I am a bit of a fan of Finjuice. I was pleased to see them come back. I think the Bullet Club is now on another level. So looking forward to see that. And again, Jay White, we know, is a great wrestler anyway. What are your thoughts on this match, Joe?
This is going to be good. The way they got Chris Bey introduced into the Bullet Club was absolutely fantastic and spot on how they did it. It was perfect. And I said it's a great way to get that relationship between New Japan Wrestling and Impact Wrestling sort of taped up again, and they're showing a lot of faith in Chris Bey by letting him take that step forward into this, because this isn't just a faction.
I don't know what's going on there. Don't know what's going on there, boys. But anyway, carry on.
This isn't like just some random faction. This is a huge marketing deal potentially, but between for Chris Bey. So that Impact Wrestling giving him that much faith in him to go ahead and do this. They're not holding him back on it. They're not saying no, you can't do it. They said to him, "You go for it if you think you can do it." And
exactly.
It just shows how much respect and how much faith they got in Chris Bey to go forward, and it shows how much they got faith in Jay White as well to bring Chris Bey into it. So
yeah, totally agree with that. Totally. So we've also got the number one
all the Bey plans, by the way, guys.
Yeah, so much. Number one contenders battle royale. I have a funny feeling we could potentially see a debut in this, but I don't know who do you think is going to come out victorious on this one. Obviously Josh is not going to be in this because he's already in a match, and obviously we know that we're not going to see Chris Bey because obviously he's in the match. We're not going to see Davari, and obviously we're not going to see Jay White either. So who are we going to see in this one? It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I think we're going to get a Macklin. We're going to see quite a few of the Impact roster in on this one. And I still think we're going to get a debut. I honestly believe we're going to get a debut on this one. What are your thoughts on this one, mate?
Matt Striker ran down a huge list of names of guys who are going to be coming in at Homecoming. We got Moose is definitely going to be there. Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callihan. Yeah, Josh Alexander was mentioned, so he might be in this match still, despite this match earlier. But I think it's going to come down to either Chris Sabin and Moose or W. Morrissey and Eddie Edwards. And
there you go.
It's going to be something like that, and it's going to be really, because the way it finished last week with Morrissey powerbombing Eddie Edwards after the match, and Sammy Callihan stuck on the side and either not going in to help him or he was just unconscious. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he was on his feet. So we could get W. Morrissey versus Sammy Callihan or W. Morrissey versus Eddie Edwards is like the last two.
Yeah.
And maybe Sammy Callihan and Eddie Edwards is the last three with W. Morrissey. Or it's going to be Moose and Sabin, and then it'll most likely be Moose winning. But if it's Moose and Sabin, I hope Sabin wins, because I want to see Sabin versus Omega before we get Moose going back to Kenny Omega. Yeah.
No, you're right, guys, in the chat. William Gardner knows, but we don't do spoilers here at TNI. So we don't want to know. We don't want to know. We want to watch it and enjoy the matches and get surprised at who wins and who turns up and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's important to us, and that's what we don't do.
Not a mark.
Exactly, he's not a mark. So so it's all good. So I mean that pretty much rounds up what we're going to see tomorrow. I'm excited for tomorrow. I think, like you say, we've got some great stuff. We've got some great matches. We're going to, excited to see who turns up in the Battle Royale. I think that's a cool main event to have on a weekly show as well. So I'm excited for that. I think it's all good. Now,
Oh, Bill just said there he doesn't know anything. So
I'm sure.
guys.
I know
there we
nothing.
go, guys. Take
There
his
you
word
go.
for it.
Exactly. So it's all good. Now, nice to see you in the chat, brother. Nice to see you in the chat. Now, please don't forget to head over to the TNI Patreon for exclusive extra content when you sign up. And also make sure you watch tomorrow night's TNI Flagship Impact Live review directly after the show is aired on Twitch and YouTube. And these days, you never know who might turn up. Now, also, all TNI shows are available for all you listen on the go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your favorite shows. So make sure you know that you do that. You carry it with you wherever you go. If you're going on your morning run, make sure you check out Impacted or any of the other great shows also available. Because it's listening to me or listening to Joe, it must be like velvet to your ears. Must be like velvet to your ears when you're going on the run. That motivation to get through that morning run. We're there for you. We're there for you guys. So get it in there. But anyway, where can we find you, Joe? Where can we find you, brother?
You can find me on Twitter at JOKEmptyspace. You can jump onto WrestleBuddy and check out my archives at the moment because I'm still currently going through this Rosemary article. And still, it's a
three months later.
Oh, it's writer's block at the moment, really, more than anything else. But
don't worry, brother, you'll get there. I know you will. Go on.
And you can also jump onto Facebook, look for #EmptySpace, #TheVoid, or if you fancy a laugh, #DailyGiggle. And step into the empty space at your own discretion. So take everything with a bit of an open perspective, and you might keep your sanity.
There you go. Just a quick shout out to Hakeem Fullerton there in the chat. Good friend of the show. Make sure you check out his articles. At the moment, he's got the 5 inches of facts about Rebellion 2021. So go and check that out. Make sure you put a link in there. It's in the Twitter, the TNI Discord, but make sure you put a link in there, Hakeem, as well, just in case people aren't in those things. So that's all good. So if you're interested in following the Bison, you can find me generally on Twitter at Lord Bison 45. Please head over, give me a follow. I'm generally pretty good to follow, especially when it comes to wrestling or Impact Wrestling specifically. So that'd be great. Well, this has been Impacted Live. And, I hope you've enjoyed spending time with us as we talk about all things Impact Wrestling.
Yes.
Please.
New shirt coming later this week, by the way, guys.
Oh, yes. Don't forget the new TNI-UK shirt, which is coming later on this week. We literally just chose the color and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to that. That's a new logo shirt. So make sure you go checking that one out. That'd be fantastic. But please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us one of these, a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, don't forget to click subscribe and give the bell a tickle. And that way you'll never miss any of the great TNI UK and US team content each and every single week. Now, don't forget, I'd love to see everybody's tickling that bell. I think that'd be great. So I know that Bill.
No innuendo there, guys. Don't worry.
No, none at all. I know that Brother Bill was like, "What the fuck is a tickle? I don't get this shit." But anyway, make sure, like I said, you hit that subscribe, give the bell a tickle to make sure you don't miss any of those fantastic shows coming to you each and every week from TNI UK and obviously the US team. What we got? Pardon me, tickle what now? Fair enough. With all that said, guys, I've been Bison, and he has been here from the empty space and the void of his own mind, the Joker. And this has been episode 43 of Impacted. Take care, guys.
We're Bison! We